I'm really excited to share my latest refashion with you. I took an oversized blazer that did not fit me, amazing fabric though. I used the pattern to resize it, reshape it, and no surprise there because it came out super. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and today I'm really excited to share a refashion I just whipped up in a few hours yesterday. The plan to refashion this blazer was hatched months and months and months ago when I bought the blazer, but it just hadn't come to reality. What I had done months ago also was just unpick what I needed to unpick. I'll try to find a picture of it before it was unsewn. This is before I started filming a few refashions every now and then, and back then I was just unpicking stuff. I really love the fabric. It's 100% linen, white fabric with some black print in there, which is really hard to find. Fairly lightweight, really good for my weather here. And I bought the blazer just knowing that the fabric was amazing, great quality. Tiny little stain that I was able to spot clean, so I wasn't worried about that. I like the neckline, and that is all I wanted to keep from the original style. It was maybe 3 sizes larger than mine, so the shoulders were hanging off, the armhole was hanging low, everything was just off. But I see the potential and I know that I can do things to make this fit. The fastest way would have actually been to just rip out the sleeves, pin it on the side and try to shape it with my body as a mannequin. And I've done that before. But in that case, you can't really use that sleeve anymore. When you use a larger size and yours armhole usually sits lower than that, and you can't bring that up, you have like missing fabric there to be able to use a sleeve that would fit you. So I didn't want to go that route, although I've done it in the past. I just decided to use a pattern that I've made 3 times already, and I love the fit. I've got it tweaked specifically for my requirements, and that is the Coda from Love Notions. Last year was when it was released. This is the first time it's been featured on a Friday, and that means that it's $5 today. And it's an amazing pattern. I've really enjoyed using as a base. The 3 that I've made are very different because I've used different fabrics and finishing techniques. I've done hacks to it. It's been a really great pattern to work with as a base for a jacket. The original one that I made when it was released was made using the original way to finish it, which is binding all the edges. I kept the original roundness of some areas of the garment, the pockets, the collar, on the sides. I have a unique binding technique that will get you amazing little corners. The second one I made was a Chanel-esque inspired one where I fully lined it and sewed all the trim by hand. It was an amazing project. And the third one was a linen one where I added lots of extra patch pockets, a back vent as an extra thing. I sort of squared everything out and got rid of all the roundness areas, drafted facings inside for that collar finish. So that's really cool. If you haven't seen my Coda jacket videos, you're missing out because there's quite a lot to see there. Please don't miss out on the Coda today. It's the first time it's ever been at such a low price, and it's such great value. And my affiliate link, if you use it, I'd be super grateful. Remember to use the code that you'll find in the description box for an extra 10% off as well. And now this time I have this blazer. I'm going to show you the process of how I got this blazer pattern to go on top. I have a sneaky extra seams there that maybe you wouldn't want to have, but in this case no one's going to see them because it's a print. If this had been a base, you know, with a solid fabric, these seams that I added in there would be noticeable, and then I wouldn't be happy to do this type of situation. But for this, it's totally valid. One little hurdle that I thought, oh no, I can't do anything about this, is that the original blazer had a dart here, which is not a problem, but this is a dart that was cut out. You know when you get that bulk that you fold down, sometimes you cut it out and serge it and you just leave a little seam allowance on the dart. That was what happened here. So I had a chunk missing right there. And at one point I thought, oh no, this is not going to work, but it ended up working. So let's see a little bit of how this came together, and then I'll show you how it turned out. I've deconstructed the side seams of the blazer and took out the sleeves. This armhole turns out to be too deep for what I need because it's several sizes larger than what I use. I'm going to keep the original collar, the original facing, that curved hem over there. I think that's really nice. I just want to reshape it so that it fits me properly using the Coda jacket. Unfortunately, this original blazer had a little bust dart there. They cut away the bulk after sewing that. I have a piece missing right there. I can get around with that section being missing there because I can have my own bust dart there as well. My pattern by this point looks really gross. It's been cut up, it's got hacks, it's got a lot of things going on, but it still works. So I've just folded away the seam allowance here on the shoulder, and I've aligned it here on the seam allowance of the shoulder here so that everything aligns here on the top. I'm going to align the center with the center of the blazer, And this is how I know that my dart is going to fit right here. I have the blue lines of my dart right there. I'm going to mark them on the screen so you can see them. So I have marked my dart onto this. You can see I've got leftover width. Now I'm going to run into an issue here because my armhole comes up higher than what I have over there. So in essence, I have missing fabric right here. Towards the back here, you can see that there's a yoke piece. This originally had 2 layers for the yoke. It had a burrito method. So what I did was unsew part of the collar right there, unsew the, I just removed that layer and then I sewed all that back together. It took no time at all. And now I have this little piece of fabric that I can use. I don't have any other place where I can get fabric. And I just want to fill in the gap that I'm missing here. So what I've done here is just drawn a little piece of paper. Let me remove this. I've taken the same curve and this is a piece of fabric I'm going to cut out from here and I'm going to sew it there and I'm going to complete that area with the same fabric. And then I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to have this random shape there, this random little seam. I don't really think it's going to be too noticeable. And if I need to do this to get my blazer, I'm going to do it. It does not bother me to have an extra little seam somewhere, especially when it's a refashion. So that's what I'm going to do for both of the front pieces. Once I've sewn this in, I'm going to press it, serge it, and then it will just become part of the fabric. Now for the back, it's going to be similar. Here I've got the back section. I've folded it in half. Here's the armhole. This is the shoulder seam right there. And I'm going to take my pattern piece right here, align the shoulder seam to this shoulder seam, folding that seam allowance away because the shoulder seam has already been sewn on this jacket. I'm going to align that right there to the center back on this fold. And then you can see over there, I'm also missing a piece of fabric for the armhole. I'm also going to draw a little shape that I can sew on there and then I can complete it. And then I'm going to be able to cut out my back piece right there. I'm going to have quite a bit of fun doing that. I really enjoy using a pattern I already know fits me to resize and reshape garments like this because then I know they're going to fit properly. I want to get this armhole that I know from this pattern onto this armhole as well so that I know the sleeve is going to fit well. These are the sleeves I ripped out of the blazer. They are 2-piece sleeves. There's a seam right here. This is going to be the side that goes to the back. This is the side that goes to the front. And there's a little vent over here. So there's quite a nice little detail that I would like to keep. This is my sleeve piece. I know that side is the back, so this is the back side of my sleeve. And if I place this over here carefully, I am going to be able to fit my sleeve from this sleeve piece. It's just going to end up being shorter, around 3/4 length, but that's fine. I'm happy I'm going to fit this shape and then I'm going to have the correct sleeve to match the armhole from the blazer. So that's just a general idea of how I use patterns to reshape and resize refashion garments. And this is going to go pretty fast. My hems are already folded up twice, so just sewing them is going to be easy. The lapels, the facings, all of that done. It'll just be basically sewing the bust darts, sewing some side seams, setting in a sleeve, and this is going to be done so fast. That little yoke piece was enough to cut these that I need to extend this area. I'm going to have a curved seam right there like the armhole did. I want to keep the grain line the same, so I've just pinned it right there. And then my armhole is just going to come up a little higher there like I need it to be. So I have 2 of these little extensions to sew on the back armholes right here. And then I'll do the same with the front armholes. And because this is a print and it's pretty busy, it's not going to be too noticeable. If this was a solid, I would not be doing this because then you would really see it. It would be right there in your face. But I think the print is going to camouflage this little sneaky seam. There it is. Then I'm going to serge it and then I'm going to pretend that's the fabric right there. I'm going to forget the seam is there. Okay, I've sewn that little piece on. Now my back piece fits perfect. I've aligned the shoulder seams with the shoulder seams over there. Now I have enough space to cut my armhole properly. There is a little extra piece of fabric there, but you know, it'll be discreet. I have a little bit of excess on the sides that I'm going to trim away. And with my friction pen, I have drawn the outline right there. And I've pinned everything together here so that everything is nice and neat. And then I can just cut away the excess. So I've cut up to there. This is the back now. It's exactly the same shape as the Coda, just on this refashioned item. I have already aligned everything, put everything in the center, match the shoulder seams. I have traced my armhole, Now that I have that extra fabric there, I can cut it out. I've got my dart right there. There you can see my dart. It matches exactly where that hole was, thankfully. So that hole there is not going to affect anything. You can see where I drew the outline with a friction pen. Trim all of this away. Okay, so there is the armhole from the original Coda jacket. It's going to fit the sleeve that I cut from the pattern piece from the Coda. I've made sure to mark the single notch on the front and the double notch so that everything matches. So I'm confident I'm going to get the Coda jacket fit from this Refashion, and I'm super excited. All I have to sew is the bust dart, sew the side seams, set in the sleeve. Here I'm sewing my little bust dart. The bust dart isn't originally in the Coda. I just did a sneaky full bust adjustment to generate one on mine. So that's how it looks like. It's got a bit of a hole right here, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and serge this area just to clean it up. Similar to what they'd done originally, only that the dart was placed in the wrong spot for me. So that right there, I'm going to serge, and that's going to be my dart that I'm going to press down. Here is a closer look at the extra fabric here to complete the armhole. I think it's pretty discreet. It's sewn and serged and pressed. So I'm going to forget that it's there. I've pinned the side seams and everything matches. Remember, I'm working with a pattern. Even though it is a Refashion, I've based everything around the pattern. I've already serged the edges separately, and now I'm just sewing at 3/8 of an inch. I even have the memory crease done for the hem now. All I have to do is fold it up again and then sew it partially, because when I was deconstructing this, I didn't unstitch the whole hem. So that's going to be easy. Then I have an armhole to set in the sleeve, and that's it. I mean, this is going to be so easy. But at the end, when I tried it on, just in the mirror, I pinned some darts away on my body. So there's no theory there. I just took away some excess of volume from the waist and pinned up to below my bust. Did the same on the back, and that's how I got the blazer to fit a little better. I hope that was fun to watch. Look, if I hadn't have had that second layer of the yoke in there, I wouldn't have been able to do this Refashion. I would have had to figure out something else to do with it. Probably the first method I talked to you about was pinning it on my body, getting rid of the sleeves, and having a sleeveless blazer. It would have been okay. But the fact that there was a second layer in there for the yoke meant I had that little piece of fabric for me to get these extra bits that I needed to complete my armhole and get it higher. So no drama, unstitching a bit of the collar. You know, I was able to do that real easily and just get that yoke out of there, and then just have a single layer, which is absolutely... I always have a hard time filming white and how to show it to you because it's hard to film. But I was able to keep the original collar and facing, which takes a pretty long time when you're making a jacket. So the fact that this was already done saved me so much time. This is the yoke seam there that is just in a single layer right now. I still wanted to unstitch this part of the collar because there was a huge bulky label in there that was really ugly and uncomfortable to wear. So it wasn't like it was hard to remove that yoke from there. On the inside, I have my dart. Remember, this dart is not original from the Coda. I did a full bust adjustment that generated that dart for me because I wanted to have that dart there. These little seams on the armhole there, these little round seams, they're very discreet because the print is pretty busy. So they're pretty much invisible, and that meant that I could get the armhole that I wanted for my size for this to fit. You know, I wanted the armhole from the Coda, I wanted to use a sleeve from the Coda that makes everything fit properly, my shoulders, my sleeve, and I was so happy that the sleeve piece fit on this original sleeve and I had a bit of excess going on. There is a lovely detail from the sleeve that is a little vent that I kept from the original blazer, so that's nice. It was meant to be 3/4 anyway, and you saw that at the end when I tried it on, I put it on backwards. Just in the mirror, I pinned some darts away on my body, so there's no theory there. I just took away some excess of volume from the waist and pinned up to below my bust. Did the same on the back. I could have left it loose. I just wanted a bit more shaping. All the seams are pressed open inside. The hems were already pressed. It was just so easy to put together, and now I have this amazing blazer that I can really enjoy, that really fits me. There was no way I could have used it as when I bought it because it just did not fit me correctly. And now it's amazing. So let's see it styled a few ways. This is the 4th time I make a Coda jacket. This time it's a Refashion though. This came from a blazer originally a couple sizes larger than me. It's 100% linen. And I did keep some original features of the blazer like the collar, the facing, the roundness of the center front. Otherwise, all the rest, the shaping, the pattern pieces come from the Coda. It's a little longer than the other Codas I've made as well. Up closer you can see it's a white linen with a little bit of a black print going on there. Paisley, very beautiful. I get a couple of buttons, original from the blazer. It's such a great fit. I did add some darts at the back, fisheye dart, also on the front after sewing this, just to add a little bit of extra shaping. This time I have a 3/4 length sleeve, which was what the original blazer had. I really like this original collar of the blazer. The fact that I kept it made the sewing process so much easier. Yeah, that was a big step to skip if it's already made for you, and I really like the shape. I love the fit of the shoulders and the sleeve. There's no surprise there. Everything was going to fit as per usual because I used the Coda. And underneath the armhole, I have some sneaky seams to complete what I needed to have the armhole correct. I have it over a fitted black dress here, just one way to wear it, a little dressed up, and I love how it looks. It's such a great blazer. I'm so happy with something that cost me so little at a thrift shop, and now I have something amazing that fits me properly. This did not fit originally, and now it does. Here's a more casual look, with red underneath. I have a pencil skirt and a red cami topped with this white blazer that has some black details in there. I think this is a nice casual little outfit to go and walk around all day in, and I love the combination of red and white as usual. I think it's really nice. This linen is lightweight, perfect for hot weather. This Refashion was so much fun, so much fun. I highly recommend trying out something like this. Even more casual now, I have a pair of flare jeans ready to wear, stretch denim. I have some really cool sneakers, a black cami underneath, a nice bag. The sneakers have metallic details like the bag. I think overall the look is really casual, but like I made a bit of an effort as well. The linen blazer on top is always gonna make the outfit look a little bit more special as well. And I really love it here. I think I can wear this blazer for whatever I want. I can dress it up, I can dress it down. As I've proved over and over again, resizing something using patterns that you've already made in the past takes the guesswork out of the fit. You know it's gonna fit, and when you keep original features of the original garment, you get something so unique. Love it. When I'm looking for used garments to buy, I usually look for the quality of the fabric, and if I know I'm gonna have to do sneaky seams there, I'll probably prioritize something with a print because it won't be seen, it won't be visible, noticeable. If this had been a solid navy, a solid red, whatever, those little seams right there, you would see them. I think they would upset me if I knew that they were there. But it's not the case this time. I can wear this happily and have those sneaky seams, and if those sneaky seams is what it takes for me to get an amazing blazer with an amazing fabric, I'm all for it. The Coda is amazing. I know it's a pattern I'm not going to stop making because there's just so many ways to use the pattern. In this case, I get the fit, I get everything, but with a different look because I have a different collar and a different rounded area on the front that was from the original blazer. But I get the amazing fit of the Coda. So it's all win-win for me. I'm super happy to have made it. I hope this inspires you to see other potential that your sewing patterns can give you other than sewing traditionally, you know, with fabric from the boat, from scratch. That's all amazing as well. But when you can resize and reshape something used to fit you, it's just so much fun. I really, really enjoy it. And I get an amazing piece that would have cost so much more if I just bought the fabric. Love the fabric. So that was the first reason I really honed in to look at it. I hope someday you can get your own clothes that don't fit you. Maybe friends are giving clothes away, or you can go and visit a thrift shop and find some treasures that you can have fun with, because when we sew, we have all these skills that can go so much further other than just making them from scratch, which is also amazing. But I do love putting in a refashion here every now and then. If you enjoy refashions, I'll leave you a playlist of all of them. I'll also leave you a playlist of all my Coda jackets I've made. My affiliate link, if you'd like to use it, I'd be very grateful. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. Bye.